Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Hand up. First time at Mona. No, it's okay. Hello. Right. Welcome to 4 p.m. then. This has been going for some time. I'll explain a bit about it. My name's Dean Stevenson. You may have either seen me here at the piano, which is why you're back, or there's just a sign that says 4 p.m. Looks interesting, or there's a bar. It's one of the three. The bar, yeah, good. There is a bar. For those who don't have a drink, there's a bar around the corner. Please, furnish yourself. So I've been at this piano all day, and this is the 197th day. So in 3 days, we'll do 200 days sat at the piano writing a brand new piece every day from scratch. It's a blank page, and then something must be made by 4 p.m. when these extraordinary musicians have arrived to sight read what was written today. The piece that you just heard was from day 179. It was a few weeks back, something that popped out in the day. And today promises to be something else, completely different perhaps. We'll see what happens. I don't know what it's like yet. Neither do you. Neither do they. No one has any idea. So we'll see what happens. What's about to happen though is not the performance of the piece, not just yet anyway, because we have to kind of rehearse it. We have to put it together bit by bit. So we'll stop and start, and you'll get to know it as we do it, and also get informal. So I'll have the microphone on and ask any questions. Throw any that you have, either to myself or to the musicians, about this whole process of sticking stuff together. It is about process, not about outcomes. Although there will be performance, it's about the making of something. So I hope you stay engaged in what we do, and again, ask questions if anything's unclear. Please welcome these magnificent musicians who have just played for you: Miranda, Hayato, Will, and Alex. I'm fortunate enough to have about a dozen musicians who kind of on the rotation who come by, scheduling, permitting, to play here. If you're sat on the floor over there, you can sit over here. You'll be in front of the band, then you'll get all the sound because you're kind of behind the band over there. These guys are getting the best sound, and you're not. But it's okay. All right. So, are we ready to start working on today? Yep. Okay. This is day 197. Yesterday was only the second time in 197 days when I didn't have the joy of a quartet because these guys are all busy. So just Alex here and cello and a piano player did a duo, which was remarkable to do. It was quite different. I'm back to quartet today, and let's start putting this day together. There's a couple of little motifs from yesterday, but more of a rhythmic thing than a melodic thing, which could make it a bit similar, which means that they could be played together if that ever happened. All right. So the upbeat of bar one is first violin, and everyone's into second beat. Second bar. The funny thing is, having just played that other piece, a little birdie piece we opened with, and having spoken to you, if you put a gun to my head, I couldn't sing you today's tune. It's completely gone from my mind. Utterly, totally. I have no idea. Until you start to play it, I have no idea what I did. No idea. All right. Shall we give it a go? Do the... They're reading this for the first time, but never seen it before. We'll stop at G. That's up there. Hey, first time off the page. So much information going in through their eyes and their brains and out their hand. It's amazing. Okay, so that's the gist of the thing. That was we already started at probably the tempo I imagined it at, which is awesome. Now that I can remember it. Any questions?
Yeah. It's funny, the second bar of E.
Second bar of E.
Is it the computer that puts in the B sharp, or is that just
a B sharp?
You wanted in there?
What?
I mean, it's fine, but...
No, B sharp, no such thing.
So you just want a C next
I just want to see.
It could just be a
I
C.
just want to see.
That's fine, it's going to sound the same. Yeah, C sharp, C.
Oh man.
Just Will play out a tune.
Computers. You have to...
Well, I did use a suboptimal finger.
A suboptimal finger. When I started this, I pitched this idea. What an idiot. When I pitched this idea years ago, it took ages to actually come to fruit. And I imagined myself, I'm not sure if I've ever told you this, I've imagined myself in this room, oddly enough. I never thought it would actually be in this room. With like a piano and like, you know, almost quill and parchment. What a wanker. But like pen and paper actually writing the quartet out. And then I realised if I did that, then by about, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I would have had to have finished so I could then copy out all the parts. So my time to actually write the piece was really small. Hence, I've settled for the software so I can press print at 3:45. But the software does things like fucking B sharp, which is just the dumbest thing ever, isn't it? Sorry. And other fun things that we have to keep track of. Okay, any questions there? Should we just give another run? Yeah. Okay, so make sure, where we got those little solo bits, I've tried to name them. So it starts with first, up until, 2 before C. And the little ascending line, the second violin takes it, back to first. At a G, the cello will have it. Okay. All right, so let's give another crack. And then I'll come to the people at home and see if they have any questions. One time. 1, 2, Slow it down to G, D, 4. Viola. Okay, hold on. So we've gone back a bit in tempo and then back to our tempo at I. So it's not necessarily back, just kind of give it some, lean back on it, I suppose. Go from G again?
Do you want a chalorando into I?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yep, so
Chalorando, fancy word for get faster.
So sort of start picking it up from the upbeat to the bar before I, as it's the same as the beginning, sort of.
All right, so should we go from F then, please? F. Let it figure F, viola, solo.
It'd be better if the chalorando only starts the full bar before I, because that's a final note of the phrase, not a
Sure.
upbeat for me.
Okay,
Yep.
sure.
So
No worries. Yep.
Pencils.
That last part.
Pencils. 2 Bs. Only 2 Bs.
And sorry, I just crashed behind it. I crashed at G completely.
There you go.
It's slower at G, isn't it? Sorry.
Just a tad, yeah. A tad. I'm not fucking fancy, I say tad now. From the figure F. F. 3, 4. Here's the love scene. Sneaky. bit, which can be kind of quite ad-lib. It's a rhythm taker, but take it slowly before we go back to R tempo at M.
Has everyone got beats under at L?
While they do some notes and stuff, any questions anybody wants to ask? Is anybody confused or
And
worried?
when do you come back in?
Oh, you're worried or confused?
Okay, so I've got a pause on the
A question? Okay, yes.
Beat before M.
beat before M.
Someone always asks that. That was my inspiration. After 197 days, I'm fuck out of inspiration, actually, if I'm to be honest. It's true. It's true. But there are some, like if you sit at if you play like just a bunch of chords and go, oh, there you go. Those, straight away, those notes. Yeah. So, so like a Sesame Street or something. So there's notes you play, all of a sudden, ding, I've got, okay, this is my tempo. Like if functionally I've got a tempo, ding, da da dun, da da ding, dun, dun, I'm just off. It's literally just playing some notes and let the music tell me what to do. We've all been listening to music, there's a caveat to that, but we've all been listening to music since we were really young, like a long, long time. So we know what fast music makes us do. You know, it's a chase scene or something like that, or there's that kind of schmaltzy one where, lovely, lovely, lovely. So we know what music does, and each of those kinds of music has kind of notes and textures. So it's just tuning into that straight away and going, well, that's what I'm writing today, and off I go. The other thing is, if you pick up a tool, hammer, chisel, pencil, whatever it is, just hit the wood, hit the page, and use your craft of knowing how these tools work. And eventually you'll see something, and then you just follow that, as opposed to going, like, the lightning has to strike me, or I'm just going to sit and drink beer, which is fun. But if someone calls me for work and I'm just drinking beer, like, oh, I wasn't very sharp today, sorry, call somebody else. So it's about being always on the tools and just using the craft, the trade, if you like, to sort of get going. And then eventually, oh, that sounds nice, I'm going to go there. And sometimes I go to lunch at about 12 o'clock, come back at 1, having no idea, and I won't find the gem of the thing until maybe 2 o'clock, or when they're walking down the stairs at 4:45, I got too late. Yeah, so it's funny. It's funny. Right, any other questions before we move on? No, okay. Okay, so that was the schmaltzy bit. So yeah, I mean, often I write these schmaltzy bits. That kind of slow-moving stuff is the stuff of string orchestra. It's a big band moving slowly, which is often the stuff we listen to when we're hearing movies and such. But don't try and give it too much. What you did then was great. Don't give any more than that, otherwise it'll start to sound contrast. Here we go with letter L. Any questions about L?
Just violin 1?
Just violin 1 until M. Begin well and end well, so they know when to clap. The middle can be just a slot, it doesn't matter what the middle is, as long as they know when to clap, which is a thing. Great, so now we know how it goes. The guys are going to make some extra notes. Someone asked yesterday, why are they writing on the music that you've written? So aren't they doing damage to the music? No, actually they're not. They're doing things that I don't know, because I don't play these instruments. I don't play in a quartet, so there are things that the violin will need to know about what the cello's doing at a certain time they're doing something, and it's like they write a look at them or some kind of cue so that they know what to do within the ensemble. You don't need me now, do you? You don't think so? You would like me.
I invited you to 2 questions.
There's questions, which is great. I love questions.
questions.
Come on, do the questions.
So many questions. And the first one, just a figure H, the tune in the viola there.
The tune in the viola at H?
This D.
Yes. I'm
Definitely.
struggling with my alphabet. Oh, there it is.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you definitely want the D there, yeah?
Yeah, because I've got an F sharp, I've got an I've got an F sharp and a C.
A?
So it should be a D7 chord.
Yeah. Can we do that one?
Yeah.
Just the 2 bars of H.
2 bars of H?
Yep.
3, 4. That was the D you just played?
Yeah. It's harmonically fine, it's just...
What was your suggestion? Have something like
Yeah, something, just sort of different, it just sounds like to me there's
You
different
want to come down? You want to swap them?
So,
Let's try that.
let's try that.
An H. 3, 4. What do you think? Was the composer right? Or was the musician right? Don't tell me the viola player was right. Please don't tell me. I'll never hear the fucking end of it. His way? His way? Fucking
Hey,
no.
hey, come on, in 197 days, that's the first time I've asked you to change a note.
Alright, what have you got there?
Yeah, and also just the character at J.
Hang on, what did you change it to? Just
No, as in like, how
He wants to know what notes
what were
you
the notes
changed.
did you
I
change?
change it to an A,
It's AD.
so it's a fifth higher than what it was. Actually, it's a bit unclear in the part.
Oh, but I'm throwing the part, is it? Oh, yeah.
So, no, what I've written is
Oh, right.
unclear in case somebody else tries to play it. I've named the note.
And that's it. Age. Okay, lovely. And what you said there? What at H?
No, I figured J.
J.
Just what kind of a character does that
I think
theme
what you
have?
did there was. I like that stiffer character because if it goes too smooth and small, it just gets old really quickly. So that's much better.
Okay,
And do you want the same from me at K? Or
Same for you, okay? Yeah,
So
if you
a
can do that.
little
Little bit, yeah, I think so.
a little sort of
Please.
march-like.
Otherwise, yeah, there's too many T's.
it's not
Yeah.
quite as small.
Not quite as schmaltzy. Okay, is everyone okay? Who's a creator? Who's an artist? A drawer? A writer? Don't shake your head at me. Everyone does something. Everyone does something. All right. Who's yes over here? All right. Who's got boxes and drawers and cupboards and garages full of stuff that you've started but didn't finish? Oh, everyone, put your bloody hands up. Come on. Every single one of you. That drawers and cupboards, probably storage containers full of stuff you never finished. Yeah.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
changed
it's the
the
thing,
note.
isn't it, to get through that middle bit when you don't suddenly shit a dime and you go, oh, it's not that good, is it? Oh, I better stop. No, to the pub. It's funny, isn't it, pushing through that tricky stuff in the middle where it doesn't quite sound like Bach or look like
No, we're
Picasso
allowed to
or
change the notes.
whatever it is.
No, I'm
Tough,
feeling
that stuff.
belligerent. Actually,
Okay, what's that?
Will's got a problem with time signature.
no, I've got
Does it need to be in full?
I've got one more question. Terrible. Just one more question. You can keep it if you like. But I just want to check two bars before J.
Yes?
That the dotted rhythm at the end of the bar in the viola part.
Oh, you can get rid of that last note.
That sort of goes.
Get rid of
nowhere.
that, just stop on the on the
okay,
E,
yeah,
thank you.
That's good. Thanks.
There
See,
you go.
now I'm giving you back a note. You can
Okay.
have that one back.
But this is what rehearsals are all about. And sometimes not this fun though. Sometimes we throw. No, we don't. Okay, do you need me? We'll do one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play it once and we hear the whole thing through. We'll all understand it as an arc, which is great. And then I'll probably leave the stage because they don't need me anymore and they'll play it. Probably don't need me now actually. Now that we've fixed these wrong notes that Will so kindly brought to our attention.
Wrong.
And then we'll play it through again, and they'll hear us get to know it. They'll get familiar with it, and the phrasing will change as everyone gets really familiar with this tune. So normally when you go to a show, you pay your ticket for them to have done this many, many times and got familiar with the thing, so that you're now witnessing the bolting together. If any of you are inspired to go and make stuff, go forth and make the sloppiest turd you can, roll it in glitter, it'll be much better than out than in. If you'd like to stay in touch with this particular project, there's a live stream here in front of me on this camera here, 197 days, all of them are live streamed to my YouTube, Dean Stevenson Music on YouTube. There is a mailing list here, you can stay in touch with the project. find out how to get all of this live audio, every single day is recorded to your inbox. That's pretty exciting. And sometimes, as I said before, the lightning does strike. It doesn't always sound great, but sometimes these days are great. So we went into a studio and we did record some. There's a double album. Some of you don't have a CD player anymore. So I've done it on cassette. Or a digital download. Anyway, there's some stuff you can buy from me at the end if that's your thing. Thank you for being here. Let's hear day 197 a couple of times. All right. Ready? Yeah. 2, 3. Miranda, Hayato, Will, Alex. Okay. Alright, so now we know the scope of it. Now I'm gonna, you don't need me for that. One question?
Yeah, I'm going to ask about a note.
A note? Oh, no. Ask Will.
I had a good reason.
You didn't know.
I think mine might be good too. So bar 42
42.
and 43.
Yes.
Definitely want that F sharp change. That's fine. I like
Because you're on your own there. So
Yep,
yes, it's
sure.
just settling down.
Just
Yes,
say
yes,
yes.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Okay.
Because otherwise, see, I have to defend my decision now. Because otherwise, you know what the theme went like this. It went D, 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 D.
Okay.
It's just,
That's a D.
the theme was just D.
Okay.
Will doesn't play D's.
I don't. There was too many D's.
Too many Ds. I get it. D-free zone. Any questions anyone want to ask anybody, the musicians or myself, before we hear it one
I'll
another time?
try and give.
Yes. I know when it's done when the
just a
musicians
1 into
arrive.
M.
It is literally it. Yeah, sometimes
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
the piece does sound like it finishes short. Once upon a time, there was at the end. You're like, well, that's just because I see the musicians coming. Oh shit! Put the clap bit on the cue at the end. So I'm not always ready. Sometimes I'm done by 2. Yeah, it's weird. Never can tell. Yeah. All right, here we go. 897. Agility is amazing. Miranda, Hayato, Will and Alex, extraordinary musicians. Thank you. And now what, we're early. Do you want to have another shot?
Yeah, that's
Okay, all right, we'll do it one more time. It doesn't have to be, I mean, obviously the more you do something, the better you get.
not necessarily.
So do something a lot. Be kind. And don't be mean. You get good at being mean. But do something a lot and you just get better at it. Even if it's an hour a day, I do lots of the time. I didn't start as a composer. I moved here as a... Actually, tonight I'm going to the Henry Jones after this to play 3 hours of songs with a guitar. That's the life of a musician, is mixed and varied. We don't all do this all the time because very few people do. Most of them, people who did this all the time are dead, and we revere ourselves under their shadows. But it's fun to do. Just do something a lot, and sometimes this happens. You get graced with these extraordinary musicians every day who are now going to play it one more time, and then we're going to go home. Thank you so much, Miranda, Hayato, Will and Alex. Thank you very much for staying, everyone. Thank you very much. My name's Dean Stevenson. Mailing list on YouTube. Stay tuned. Make some great stuff. Take care. I have some recordings for sale if you'd like. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.